Hello, welcome to the Liberated Multitasker. My name is Judy. Today we're going to make seafood gumbo. We're going to start off by making our roux. We're going to add 3/4 cup of vegetable oil. And then we're going to add about 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour. And we're going to whisk this together and we're going to continuously stir it for about 20 minutes. This is the labor-intensive part of this recipe. Me and my husband will be taking turns stirring it until it has cooked for 20 minutes is the correct color and consistency. It's not going to be a paste, but it does cook down a little and gets a little bit thicker. And then once all this is cooked down, we're going to add our vegetables. Here we have about a cup of diced onions, a cup of red bell pepper, a cup of green bell pepper, and a cup of celery. We also have 3 tablespoons of minced garlic. 1 frozen bag, 12 ounces of chopped okra. We let those thaw. You don't want to put those in frozen. And we're going to continue to stir it into the roux and let these vegetables cook. We want them to soften. Now it calls for a amber beer. We're using a pale ale, and it does take the entire bottle, full 12 ounces. I'm going to stir that in, and now we're going to add 1 jar of homemade chicken bone broth, 1 jar of homemade diced tomatoes, and we're going to end up adding another jar of homemade chicken bone broth. Now, I will link this recipe below, but we have deviated from the recipe. My husband's just tasting it to see where we're at this point. We're going to add some Worcestershire sauce, about a tablespoon, and some Joe Daddy's, 2 teaspoons, and about 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And then we're going to add about 2 tablespoons, it says kosher salt, but I'm using Redmond's real salt. It's going to call for 2 tablespoons of filet powder and 2 bay leaves. Now the filet powder was a little hard to find, and that's what's making our gumbo look a little green. It does give it a very distinct flavor. So if you're not a fan of that powder, you might want to reduce it. Once we add all these ingredients, we want it to simmer. And we're just making sure it stays on the simmer and stirring it for about 30 minutes. Now we're going to add about 1 pound of andouille sausage. We're just going to stir that in. Still at a simmer, we're going to add 2 pounds of shelled and deveined shrimp. All this is going to cook for about 8 minutes. And now we're going to add about 16 ounces of lump crab meat. We've already worked through it and checked for any shells, and it was fine. We just put it back in that container until we're ready to dump it into our pot. My husband's going to do a taste test and has decided it needs a little bit of Louisiana hot sauce. We're going to stir that in, and now it's ready to eat. You can serve it with rice or without. Doesn't that look delicious? I hope you give it a try. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I really hope to see you soon.